Most people think they're doing the right thing when training their dogs. They watch a few tutorials, repeat commands, offer treats, and expect everything to click. But what if those so called training tricks are actually backfiring? What if the praise, the punishment, or even the way someone says no is secretly making their dog more anxious, disobedient, or even aggressive? Dog behavior doesn't just come from commands or corrections, it's deeply tied to instinct, emotion, and how a dog interprets human actions. So today, let's dig deep into the 16 dog training mistakes that not only fail, but actually make the problem worse. Some of these might surprise even experienced dog owners. 1. Using punishment instead of positive reinforcement. It's one of the most common mistakes, yelling, scolding, or even lightly tapping a dog when it misbehaves. Some believe that the dog needs to know who's boss, but here's the truth. Dogs don't learn like that. Punishment doesn't teach what to do, it only tells the dog what not to do. And it often creates fear, not respect. According to dog behavior research, harsh discipline raises cortisol levels, the stress hormone in dogs. This can cause them to shut down emotionally or become reactive. They might stop barking out of fear, but deep inside, they don't understand why the barking was bad. Instead, positive reinforcement, like treats, praise, or toys, teaches dogs that good behavior leads to good things. This creates a mental link in the dog's brain between an action and a reward. Over time, those good behaviors stick and the fear disappears from the training process. 2. Inconsistent rules and commands. One day the dog is allowed on the couch, the next day it gets scolded for it. One person says down, another says off. For a human, that might seem like a small difference, but for a dog, it creates total confusion. Dogs thrive on routine and predictability. Their brains are wired to seek patterns. When rules change randomly, it doesn't just confuse the dog, it can lead to frustration, misbehavior, and a lack of trust in the owner. Training experts always recommend choosing a consistent set of commands and rules that the entire household follows. This way, the dog doesn't have to guess. It can relax and learn faster because the expectations are always clear. 3. Training for too long. Long training sessions seem productive, but they often do more harm than good. A dog's attention span is limited. Most can only focus for about 5 to 10 minutes at a time, especially young or high-energy dogs. If someone pushes past that limit, the dog becomes mentally tired and disengaged. At that point, mistakes happen. The dog might start ignoring commands, looking away, or becoming distracted. And if those unfocused moments keep getting repeated, the dog actually learns that it's okay to zone out during training. Short, focused, and fun sessions work best. A few minutes several times a day is more effective than one long, exhausting hour. That repetition over time builds lasting habits. 4. Not understanding the dog's breed instincts. A mistake that's often ignored is failing to recognize what the dog was originally bred to do. Herding breeds like border collies need to move and think constantly. Guard dogs like Rottweilers are alert and protective. Hunting breeds like beagles follow scents obsessively. These instincts don't go away just because someone says, sit. Trying to train against a dog's natural behavior instead of working with it only leads to problems. A herding dog might herd kids or nip heels. A guard dog might bark at every noise outside. These behaviors aren't disobedience, they're instinct in action. The smartest trainers understand breed psychology. They redirect those instincts into productive tasks. A scent-driven dog can learn games that involve sniffing and tracking. A herding dog can master agility. Training becomes easier and more effective when the dog's natural drives are respected. 5. Only training at home. Many dogs behave perfectly in the living room, but completely lose control at the park. That's because they were trained in only one environment, and dogs don't generalize behavior well. To a dog, sit in the kitchen and sit at a loud outdoor cafe feel like totally different situations. If the dog only hears commands in one place, it won't know how to respond in other settings filled with distractions. This is where the idea of proofing comes in. It means practicing commands in new places, around new people, and with background noise. It helps the dog learn to obey regardless of the environment. Training in different situations creates reliability and builds the dog's confidence to stay calm and focused no matter what's going on around it. 6. Overusing treats without phasing them out. Treats are a powerful training tool, especially for teaching new behaviors, but they're only part of the process. If the dog always expects a treat and doesn't get one, it might stop obeying. This happens when treats become the only reason the dog listens. Eventually, the dog starts weighing the value. No treat? Then why bother? To avoid this, trainers use a process called fading. It means slowly reducing the number of treats once the dog understands a command. Praise, petting, or access to a favorite toy can replace food. The goal is for the dog to follow commands because it enjoys the process and feels good doing it, not just because food is involved. 7. Failing to socialize early enough. A huge but overlooked mistake is not socializing a puppy during the critical window, between 3 and 14 weeks of age. That period is when a dog is most open to new experiences, sounds, people, and animals. If socialization doesn't happen during this time, the dog is more likely to grow up fearful or aggressive toward unfamiliar things. A dog that barks at every visitor, lunges at other dogs, or panics during car rides likely missed out on proper early exposure. Safe and slow socialization, like meeting calm dogs, experiencing gentle handling, hearing traffic sounds, or visiting different places, builds confidence. It also reduces behavioral problems later in life. 8. Ignoring body language and emotional signal. Dogs are constantly communicating, even when they're not barking or growling. They use their eyes, ears, tail, and body posture to send messages. But most humans miss these signs, or worse, ignore them. A dog that licks its lips, turns its head, yawns, or stiffens its body is showing stress or discomfort. If those signs are ignored and the dog is pushed too far, it might escalate, possibly with a growl or even a bite. Training should always consider how the dog feels. Is it anxious, frustrated, overstimulated? A good trainer adjusts the pace and environment to keep the dog in a learning zone, not a panic state. That's where real progress happens. 9. Reinforcing bad behavior by accident. Sometimes the very thing a dog owner does to stop a behavior is what makes it stronger. For example, if a dog jumps up for attention and gets pushed down while the person yells, "No," the dog still got what it wanted: attention. In dog psychology, any reaction, positive or negative, can reinforce behavior if it gives the dog a result it desires. This includes eye contact, yelling, chasing, or touching. Instead of reacting, the better strategy is to redirect. If a dog jumps up, the owner can calmly turn away or ignore the behavior entirely. Then, when the dog calms down or sits, that behavior gets the reward. The dog quickly learns which action leads to a payoff. 10. Giving up too soon. Finally, one of the most damaging mistakes is giving up. Many people try training for a few days or weeks and quit when they don't see instant results. But dog training isn't about speed, it's about consistency. A dog's brain forms habits through repetition over time. Some behaviors, especially ones tied to fear or trauma, can take months to change. Every time the training is skipped or abandoned, the bad behavior gets another opportunity to grow stronger. Persistence pays off. Even when things seem slow, even when the dog seems stubborn, the quiet progress is happening under the surface. Sticking to the plan, rewarding the small wins, and showing patience always lead to better results. 11. Expecting the dog to know better. A lot of people assume their dog should know better. Maybe the dog chews on a shoe it's seen many times before or jumps on guests even after being told not to. The truth is, dogs don't operate from guilt or moral awareness. They don't sit and reflect on their past actions. Dogs live in the moment. Their behavior depends entirely on what's been reinforced and what hasn't. If a behavior keeps happening, it's either not been corrected in a clear, consistent way, or it's being unintentionally rewarded. When a person says he knows he did something wrong, they're likely misreading the dog's body language. The cowering, tucked tail, or guilty eyes are often signs of anticipating punishment, not guilt. Clear training beats assumptions every time. 12th training, when the dog is overstimulated or tired. Imagine trying to learn algebra while sitting next to a loudspeaker at a concert or after pulling an all-nighter. That's what it's like for dogs when training happens while they're overwhelmed or exhausted. Overexcited dogs have trouble focusing. They ignore commands, jump around, or fixate on other stimuli. Similarly, when they're too tired, like after a long walk or busy play session, they simply can't process new learning. The ideal time to train is when the dog is alert, calm, and curious. Not too hyped up, not drained. Learning sticks best when the brain is engaged, but not overstimulated. Good timing can make the difference between a breakthrough and a breakdown. 13. Repeating commands over and over. Sit, 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 exclamation mark. It's a classic scene, but repeating commands like this teaches the dog something unintended that it doesn't have to obey right away. Dogs quickly learn that the first few times don't count. In dog training, every word matters. If sit is said 3 times before the dog sits, that becomes the new cue. Sit, sit, sit means sit. This not only delays the behavior, but reduces respect for the command. The fix is simple. Say the command once, wait for a response, and if the dog doesn't respond, calmly reset the situation. Over time, this builds stronger, faster obedience and makes the dog actually listen the first time. 14. Skipping mental stimulation. Many owners focus on physical exercise, walks, fetch, tug of war, but forget that dogs need mental exercise too. Without it, dogs can become bored, restless, and even destructive. Dogs are intelligent creatures. Some breeds were bred to work, solve problems, or make decisions independently. If their minds aren't challenged, they'll find their own activities, like digging, chewing, or non-stop barking. Training sessions, puzzle toys, nose work, and new environments stimulate a dog's brain. Even teaching a new trick every few days can make a huge difference in behavior and mood. A mentally satisfied dog is calmer, more obedient, and less likely to act out. 15. Neglecting the power of play. Many people separate training time from playtime, but in reality they should work together. Dogs learn best when they're having fun. Play taps into a dog's natural drive to engage, bond, and explore. Training through games like hide and seek, recall races, or tug with rules makes learning exciting. It also builds a stronger relationship between the dog and the person. Instead of being a strict authority figure, the owner becomes a fun, safe leader the dog enjoys working with. Play also releases dopamine in a dog's brain, which helps cement learning. When fun is part of training, it's not a chore, it's a game they want to keep playing. 16. Not practicing impulse control. Impulse control is one of the most overlooked areas in dog training. It's what allows a dog to resist chasing squirrels, snatching food, or jumping on guests. Without this skill, even the most well-behaved dog can suddenly lose control. Many owners skip this type of training because it seems boring, but teaching dogs to wait patiently, like staying at the door until released or ignoring dropped food, teaches them to regulate their urges. Impulse control helps in real-life situations. A dog that can pause before reacting is less likely to dart into the street or attack a dropped plate. It's not about suppression. It's about helping the dog make better choices on its own. Dog training isn't about being strict. It's about being smart. Every mistake mentioned here can be turned around with the right approach, a bit of patience, and a real understanding of how dogs think. The more we learn, the better we can show up for our dogs, and the stronger that bond becomes. If this helped you see things differently, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive into what really makes dogs tick. And if you've made any of these mistakes before, don't stress. You're not alone. Drop a comment below and share your story. Let's grow together, one tail wag at a time.